biggest personal injury claim have in common? Regis lawyers. Lawyers who care, convenient, affordable, respectful, and experienced. For over 20 years, we have helped thousands throughout the Hudson Valley, New York City, and Long Island. We work 100% for the 99%. For a free consultation with an experienced attorney, call or text us at 212-766-1100. And yes, we speak Spanish.
Hello and welcome to M24 News. I am Julio Rivera, your host, and thank you for joining me today. As always, in local news, we start off. Vaccine protests on the Brooklyn Bridge. A teachers group protesting mandatory vaccinations was seen in New York City marching across the Brooklyn Bridge, with some protesters chanting against President Biden. People could be heard chanting F Joe Biden while walking across the Brooklyn Bridge in a video posted on Twitter on Monday. They were also carrying signs reading, quote, "Last year's heroes, this year's unemployed," as well as "My body, my choice," and quote, "I call the shots." Another video posted to social media also shows protesters chanting the same, F Joe Biden, from the Brooklyn Pier. Hundreds of people, including current and retired teachers, parents, and other school staffers, were seen in Foley Square Monday denouncing mandatory vaccines in order to keep people their jobs. The protesters from the Foley Square, quote, "Freedom Rally," then walked across the Brooklyn Bridge. Retired teacher Amy Carroll said, quote, "I have lived and worked in this city as a civil servant for 28 years of my life. I should be able to make my own health decisions and make a decision that doesn't affect my unemployment, that doesn't affect my right to go to a restaurant or a Broadway play, a museum," unquote. Her husband, retired teacher Bill Carroll, added, "I think what they're doing in America, they're taking away our rights about all decisions, medical decisions. We're standing here and letting the government take over everything." The protests come after Mayor Bill de Blasio announced last month that all employees of the Department of Education must get vaccinated by September 27th. Last week, Biden announced a sweeping new vaccine mandate requiring employees at companies with over 100 workers to get vaccinated or be tested for the coronavirus on a weekly basis, as well as vaccine mandates by this past September 13th, in order to enter all restaurants, gyms, places of entertainment. Teachers for Choice say it will file a lawsuit against the city over the vaccine mandate. It's a very touchy subject about vaccinations. In other news, right here in the Bronx, Tony Touch Presents, home of the Hip Hop Bronx Festival. Celebrate the birth of our hip hop culture with music, vendors, and community and positive vibes. Great DJs, performances, and vendors. All this takes place Saturday, September 18th from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on East 161st Street and Grand Concourse, Lou Gehrig Plaza, right in the Bronx, with performances by Grand Wizard Theodore, Breakout and Baron, Imperial JC, Rockin' Rob, Chuck City, Bobby Morales, DJ White Flash, DJ Billy Bush, Wes, DJ Tech One, DJ Kata Ulasia, DJ Too Tough, DJ Wimpy B, and DJ Doodles. Wow. They are accepting local non-food vendors to promote their goods and services. Come by and enjoy the hip-hop way it is meant to be. This event is free to attend. Please share with anyone who appreciates the hip-hop culture. Donations are also being accepted via Venmo the day of or in advance by contacting DJ Tony Touch, who is responsible for funding this free public event. Again, all this takes place on Saturday, September 18th from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on East 161st Street and Grand Concourse, Lou Gehrig Plaza, right in the Bronx. DJ Tony Touch says, quote, "This is the first annual event and we would like to see it for years to come." You can contact DJ Tony Crush, DJ Tony Crush at gmail.com. All the way in Broadway, in Manhattan, Broadway is back. Ladies and gentlemen, the highest grossing Broadway musical of all time has returned to the stage Tuesday, along with other blockbuster hits like the Great White Springs, or as well as the Great White Springs, back to life after 18 months in the dark due to the coronavirus pandemic. Shows such as The Lion King, Hamilton, Wicked, and Chicago will once again raise the curtain, this time for crowds that are fully vaccinated and wearing masks. Previews will also begin for Lackawanna Blues, with opening night scheduled for September 28th. Quote, "When you think of New York City, it's the capital of arts and culture," says Mayor Bill de Blasio. "People love Broadway. When Broadway is up and running, it says so much about New York City. And tonight, a lot of Broadway is coming back. You can feel the life in the city coming back." Lin-Manuel Miranda was on hand to welcome theatergoers back to Broadway before Tuesday night's performance of Hamilton. NTA officials also joined cast members from The Lion King and the head of Broadway League outside Times Square, 42nd Street subway station, to encourage New Yorkers to take mass transit to Broadway. The NTA said subways had record pandemic-era ridership Monday, and they're hoping that the trend continues as the curtains rise. Broadway League President Chariot St. Martin said, quote, when Broadway returns, New York returns. And the 97,000 workers that Broadway hires are getting back to work. The Broadway League represents an industry responsible for billions of dollars to the city every year. But because of its uniquely tight spaces and high cost to operate, Broadway simply could not reopen at reduced capacity. Instead, it waited until it could require vaccines with masks and kids under 12 showing a recent negative COVID test and an all clear from a platoon of experts seeing a show is safe. Quote, Broadway will be here for hundreds of years and it will continue to be here, says St. Martin. People have to have theater. The first Broadway shows to resume production were Springsteen on Broadway, which ran through September 4th. Passover, Modesto, and Waitress, and more will reopen in the next few weeks. We're going to be taking a quick intermission. Again, this is 24M News with Julio Rivera. We will be right back.
What does a Regis divorce, a Regis bankruptcy, and a Regis personal injury claim have in common? Regis lawyers. Lawyers who care, convenient, affordable, respectful, and experienced. For over 20 years, we have helped thousands throughout the Hudson Valley, New York City, and Long Island. We work 100% for the 99%. For a free consultation with an experienced attorney, call or text us at 212-766-1100. And yes, we speak Spanish. What does a Regis divorce, a Regis bankruptcy, and a Regis personal injury claim have in common? Regis lawyers. Lawyers who care, convenient, affordable, respectful, and experienced. For over 20 years, we have helped thousands throughout the Hudson Valley, New York City, and Long Island. We work 100% for the 99%. For a free consultation with an experienced attorney, call or text us at 212-766-1100. And yes, we speak Spanish.
Welcome back to M24 News. Again, I am Julio Rivera. Back to the news. Missing persons case, Gabrielle Petito is still under investigation. It's been almost a month since the family of Gabrielle Petito last heard from her, and now they want her boyfriend to start talking. They say Brian Laudry left Gabby all alone in the Grand Tetons during their cross-country adventure, but won't explain why he came back to Northport, Florida in her van Tuesday night. It's reported that the police in Utah were called to, quote, an incident involving Brian Laudry and Gabby Petito roughly 2 weeks before she was last seen and a month before she was officially reported missing. Moab Chief of Police Brett Edge told, quote, our officers did respond to an incident involving Brian Laudry and Gabrielle Petito on August 12th. However, neither Brian or Gabrielle were the reporting party. Officers conducting an investigation and determined that insufficient evidence existed to justify criminal charges. Earlier Tuesday, the families of Petito and Laudry released dueling statements with the boyfriend's family saying a search is happening in Wyoming, and that they hope it is successful. Gabby's family says the success of the searches may depend on what her boyfriend is willing to say. While Gabrielle Petito's colorful Instagram and YouTube posts are being dissected by police, her family asked in black and white, how does her boyfriend, quote, stay in the background when he's the only person who knows where Gabrielle was last seen? Gabby's father, Joseph Petito, says, quote, unless you are the parent, you just can't describe how that feeling is because you never have felt it before. I pray that no one else ever feels it again. Police say Brian was there, her boyfriend, but refused to talk. Investigators were back in the neighborhood Tuesday, but didn't go into the Loudry's house. Joshua Taylor, for the Northport Police Department, said, "You had someone who was in constant communication with her family on a pretty regular basis, and then all of a sudden, nothing. All of a sudden, the person she is traveling with is back here, and she is not here. That person is unwilling to talk with us to this point." The police say they know more than they are able to say in order to protect the integrity of the investigation. However, Northport police also say that they do not have evidence any crime has been committed. Oh, wow. I really hope they find this woman. God bless her. In other news, all the way in Japan, Japan condemns North Korea missile launch. North Korea launched ballistic missiles off its east coast on Wednesday, prompting condemnation from Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga. It came 2 days after the reclusive North test fired cruise missiles. North Korea's military said 2 rounds of unidentified ballistic missiles were fired into the open waters of the East Sea, also known as the Sea of Japan. Japan's Suga, the Prime Minister, condemned the missile launch as, quote, simply outrageous, and said it was a threat to the peace and security of the region, as well as it is in violation of UN Security Council resolution, and I strongly protest and condemn this, he said, outside of his office, adding to the government will continue to monitor the area. We will work closely with the US, South Korea, and other concerned nations resolutely to protect the lives of our citizens and their peaceful lives, the Prime Minister said. The Joint Chief of Staff of South Korea said local and U.S. intelligence services are conducting detailed analysis. South Korea will be holding an emergency meeting over the ballistic missile launch. Ryu Yong-wook, an assistant professor at Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy, says North Korea is also trying to signal that it should be taken seriously by the U.S. and China, and is using, quote, provocative actions to pressure Beijing not to neglect Pyongyang. It demonstrates the North's resolve to, quote, defy international rules and norms, and it shows its potential to cause havoc for regional peace and prosperity. In science news, bringing back the woolly mammoth. Yes, you heard correct. The woolly mammoth back from extinction. Harvard scientist George Church, a pioneer of both DNA sequencing and gene editing, has been talking in the press for more than a decade about the possibility of bringing the extinct woolly mammoth back to life. It's been the subject of magazine articles, books, and of course a TEDx talk. Now it is the focus of a company. Church and his colleagues announced Monday that Colossal, the name of the company, a startup focused on, quote, de-extinction, had raised $15 million for a project that involves CRISPR technology to genetically re-engineer Asian elephants to be more like mammoths. Billionaire Thomas Tull, best known for his founding a film production company that backed the Batman movies and Inception, and Silicon Valley venture capital firms Breyer Capital and Draper Associates. One moment, we're going to have to take a quick break. Just one moment, please, to a quick commercial break. A quick commercial break.
What does a Regis divorce, a Regis bankruptcy, and a Regis personal injury claim have in common? Regis lawyers. Lawyers who care, convenient, affordable, respectful, and experienced. For over 20 years, we have helped thousands throughout the Hudson Valley, New York City, and Long Island. We work 100% for the 99%. For a free consultation with an experienced attorney, call or text us at 212-766-1100. And yes, we speak Spanish.
Hello and welcome back to M24 News. Please excuse the interruption. We were speaking about bringing the woolly mammoth back from extinction. A scientist believes that he can do it and has backers and now has $15 million to do so and fund this research. The new funding, through small by the standards of the current biotech boom, is likely to force investors, policymakers, and the biotech industry to engage more directly with what has now seemed to be a closer idea to science fiction rather than reality. But there is, even by Church's own admission, plenty of time. Despite the bold type declarations of Colossal's press release, Colossal is the name of his organization, they say, quote, "Woolly mammoths will walk the Arctic tundra again. The planned project will take years, 6 years to be exact. Colossal guesses until a calf might be born and another 10 to 12 for the calf to grow to maturity. The $15 million mark is probably enough," Church says, "to get an embryo. To get a calf, more money will need to be raised." Today is Yom Kippur for the Jewish community. Yom Kippur is the holiest day of the year. The rabbis say when they are closest to God and the, quote, essence of our souls. Yom Kippur means, quote, day of atonement. As the verse states, "For on this day he will forgive you to purify you, that you be cleansed from all your sins before God," unquote. For nearly 26 hours, the Jewish community, quote, afflict their souls, meaning they abstain from food and drink, do not wash or apply lotions or creams, do not wear leather, footwear, and abstain from marital relations. Instead, they spend the day in synagogue praying for forgiveness. Saturday Night Live comedian dies of cancer. Very sad story. Norm Macdonald, a comic who was a beloved anchor for Saturday Night Live's popular weekend update segments, died Tuesday, according to multiple reports, citing his manager. He was 61 years old. His friend and producing partner, Lori Joe, says that Macdonald had been battling cancer for several years, but this diagnosis he kept private. He, quote, was the most proud of his comedy. He never wanted the diagnosis to affect the way the audience or any of his loved ones saw him. She also added, Norm was a pure comic. He wrote once a joke would catch someone by surprise. It should never pander. He certainly never pandered. Norm will be missed terribly. Born in Quebec City, Quebec, Canada, he started in entertainment as a stand-up comedian who worked out of the Ottawa club circuit before branching out to clubs across Canada. He quickly became known for his deadpan and sardonic delivery and was in the 1987 given the opportunity to perform, quote, Just for Laughs Comedy Festival in Los Angeles. That first taste of Los Angeles made an impression, and Macdonald moved to the big city intending to break into Hollywood. He found work writing for the sitcom Roseanne in 1992. He joined the cast of Saturday Night Live the following year, where he became known for his impressions of David Letterman, Larry King, Burt Reynolds, Quentin Tarantino, and others. But it was as an anchor of the news satire segment called Weekend Update, where McDonald hit his stride. He held the position from 1994 to 1998. Wow. And finally, NASA's first Latino astronaut wants everyone to travel to space. Franklin Chang Diaz made history as NASA's first Latino astronaut. He is a revolutionized space traveler in his mission to open the sky to everyone. After retiring from the space agency, Chang Diaz started Ad Astra, a rocket propulsion company. They are working on a plasma-based propulsion system that offers the possibility to travel the entire solar system. Chang Diaz said, quote, "Humans should be a multi-planet species, and this work brings all of humanity one step closer to the stars." I know I would love to go to space. Thank you for joining me. All of this is brought to you by Millennium TV, and this is M24 News with Julio Rivera. You can catch this and more content on Millennium TV and on Apple TV, Jago, Jadu, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Sky Cable, Radiant TV, Verizon Fios, World Cable, Cinefun TV, Star, Star Cable, Desh Cable, BTV, My Cable, TWG TV, Horizon Satellite, iOS, and is also available on all Androids and smart TVs if you download the app. Again, I am Julio Rivera, and this is M24 News. Thank you for joining me today. Everyone have a lovely rest of your day.
Okay.